Hello and welcome back to Learn It from a Layman. I am Carl Christensen. I am joined by Dr. Johnny. Johnny, you haven't been on
Oh,
in a while, right?
it has been a while. Yeah.
And Matt, who I think Matt, you've been on pretty frequently as of late, who both have experience in the subject for tonight, which is our first kind of repeat topic, which is international travel 2.0. So of course we recruited a doctor to talk about that, right, Johnny?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
I know
Why?
everything
Why
about
would?
travel. Pretty much
Well,
like
actually,
the vaccines you should get.
it's literally where we were going to start. I was literally going to start with that because um, international travel. There's a lot to think about, but one of the things. So earlier this year, my wife and I went to Suriname. Um, if you listen to the podcast forever, you know that I was there for a few years. I lived there for a few years on church missionary service a long time ago. I hadn't been back since, and vaccines were certainly something I wanted to get updated and figure out what I needed. So, Johnny, what insights do you have about vaccines in preparation for travel?
So the CDC actually has a great website on this. You basically type in where you want to travel, and it will tell you all the health things that you should be worried about. Which seasons there's specific diseases that go around, whether or not they recommend vaccination, whether or not like depending on like how long you're going to be there. Um, and then some of it depends on like a lot of these things are mosquito borne illnesses, so a lot of it's going to depend on if you're in the city versus in a rural area,
Right.
and then other things too, like access to clean water and things like that. So that it has basic travel recommendations about all health related topics in pretty much anywhere that you can imagine going. And then it also has, like, if you are traveling to a place that has malaria, like things that you can do to prevent a malaria illness, which is highly recommended if you're going to a
That's something
malaria area.
you want to do that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a 10 out of
Okay.
10 recommendation.
Yeah. I mean, so most of these, like I said, are for like your own safety, your own health. Obviously, you don't want to spread the diseases either, so the vaccines can help with that. But there are at least one that I know of, and maybe Johnny, you know about more that are like governments can mandate that you have the vaccine in order to either allow you into the country or allow you out. I'm not sure. Anyway, but like the yellow fever vaccine was one that if you're coming from a country that has like instances of yellow fever still, other countries might require to that when you come into that country that you have proof that you've been vaccinated from yellow fever. So, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
go ahead,
and
Johnny.
it'll tell you on that CDC travel website if there's like it'll say like required vaccine versus recommended. And if it says required, then make sure you bring documentation to
Mhm.
so that you don't get turned away
Right, right.
before you even make it through the airport.
Right, exactly. And that was something obviously I was quite concerned about. And as a lot of these things often are, um, I was never actually carded. We did get our yellow fever vaccine. Now, some of these vaccines are really easy to get, Johnny. Like you could go get them at your local primary care physician, your pediatrician, whatever it is. Um, but some of them, like the travel vaccines, the ones that are like specialized, like yellow fever, can be a little bit more difficult and also generally not covered by insurance companies in the United States. Therefore, they are out of pocket.
Yeah, and vaccines can be pretty expensive if you're paying for them out of pocket.
Yeah.
There are some travel agencies that will do like vaccines. And then also another place to check is the health department. So the health department, I think, helps to offset the cost in a way. I'm not exactly sure how because I haven't traveled anywhere that required a yellow fever vaccine. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, but yeah, it could be required. It can really hold up your travel plans. So just checking and making sure is always a good idea, to make sure that you're able to get into the country you intend to go to.
Right. Right. And so yeah, I mean, my wife had to get the yellow fever vaccine, and she got it at Costco. But we absolutely had to like schedule it ahead of time. They had to like order it and bring it in. And it was one of the cheaper options as far as getting that vaccine. But yeah, that documentation, the yellow fever vaccine is one. I don't think it quite lasts a lifetime, but it's a long lasting vaccination. So I had gotten it back 20 years ago, and it's still good. It's still valid. And so all I had to do was find my vaccine card from 20 years ago. Uh, Gratefully, I did. I mean, believe it or not, going through old boxes, found it, saved myself like $250. So, um,
Yeah, and
and
there's let's say you couldn't find it,
yeah.
you could get titers to antibodies against yellow fever that might prove that you got vaccinated. Might be a
Mm,
cheaper option than getting the vaccine again. I don't know. It really depends on the vaccine, and sometimes titers can be a little bit, uh, like the titer won't show that you're immune, but you actually are. Anyway, it can be a little bit complicated depending on which titer you're getting. But your primary healthcare doctors are usually pretty good about looking those things up and can help guide you. Because, like obviously, primary care doctors, we want to make sure that you're healthy when you get back from your travel. I don't want to figure out what weird disease you have.
right, right. Yeah. So, I mean, these things are worth doing. When I was looking into this, like some of these things are just severe illnesses that you just want to avoid, but probably won't kill you. Once again, you also don't want to spread them. But like something like yellow fever, what I found, like if you develop severe symptoms, which I don't remember what percentage of people develop severe symptoms, but if you do, you've got like it's remarkably high. It's like a 15% chance of dying. Um, so these aren't things to mess with. Um,
Yeah, there's everyone has to die at some point, but doing it on vacation is usually frowned upon.
yeah, and doing it with an avoidable disease. That's something I'm trying to not have. I'd like to make use of modern medicine. So
Yeah, well, I have something that I could put on your gravestone if you ever die from a disease, just for you, Carl.
okay, well, you've piqued my interest, but I also kind of don't want to know. So I'll find out. Just do it when I die. Um, okay, that's vaccines. Let's move on to the next. I believe I don't remember if this is something that we discussed in depth before, but the power adapters and essentially different voltages and different outlets in different countries. Um, Anyone that's traveled internationally knows the different systems. Um, Johnny, you've traveled internationally. Matt, you have as well. Any horror stories or anecdotal issues with power adapters and or plugging something in and it exploding?
Not quite exploding, but I've never heard my electric razor go so fast. Really got ramped up
This-
there, and I thought it was going to take flight for sure. And then it just started smoking. So,
okay, perfect,
and then it never
perfect.
worked again. So,
Okay,
turns out there are adapters and there's also converters. So, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Nat could probably explain this a lot better than I can, but don't just make sure it fits. Like, it's got to have the right type of voltage
The
as well,
voltage
maybe? I
coming
don't
in.
know.
That's
It's
correct.
the
No, it is
current
voltage.
type, alternating or direct. It needs to be AC when it needs to be AC, and it needs to be DC when it needs to be DC. And that's the conversion that you're going to get there. You can get an adapter that will make the plug physically fit, but if the current type is wrong, you're going to end up in, well, your razor is going to have a bad time and make unfortunate noises at you, and then it will be dead forever.
I
But
can
Um,
testify to this.
yeah. Um,
well, I know I read about this because I was in Europe recently. The voltage is also, it's like I believe that the voltage was like the main thing because the U.S. system. I was interested. This piqued my interest because I was wondering which one was better. Like, are we Americans backwards? Or what's the situation? And it turns out, um, our system is just dated. It started sooner. Like we had more widespread availability to electricity sooner. Um, and so our grid built out on 110 or 120 or whatever it is. Before it became clear that 230, 240 volts was going to be necessary for some things and was deliverable at the outlets using wires. So European, other countries electrical systems built out later, and so they had the opportunity to use these higher voltage systems and deliver them to outlets. Now, my immediate thought was, well, in the United States as a kid, who hasn't taken a gum wrapper and fashioned it into a plug and shoved it
I
into an
haven't. I have not done that, and you should not have either, and neither should any of
Okay.
our listeners.
Well, I
You
certainly don't
ridiculous,
recommend it.
suicidal idiots. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I
Oh, it's
haven't done
dumb.
it yet.
I guess there's always something. Anyway,
Yeah. So anyway, the I was like, well, at 120 volts, that's dangerous. It's dumb, but it's survivable. If it's at 230, 240 voltage and you're messing with the outlet, you're putting your life on the line. And so my immediate question was safety. I was like, well, are European outlets or other countries' outlets inherently less safe than U.S. outlets? And of course, the answer is no. Um, Maybe originally the answer was yes. I actually don't know. I didn't do all the historical research, but the actual reality nowadays is that there are so many built-in safety parts of an outlet that it's going to immediately detect that it's not a closed circuit, and boom, it's shutting it off. So you might zap yourself pretty hard. I guess you could technically knock yourself out, but it's not going to flow through it long enough to kill you.
do not
Essentially.
test this. Just don't do it. But
No,
If
anyway,
you
no.
as
have a
fascinating as
pacemaker, this is a bad idea.
the history of electrical systems across the United States and Europe is, travel.
Oh yeah. Well, I,
Anyway,
I, I, but that's what, okay. But yes, bringing it back to travel, essentially, that's, when you're traveling, the amount of voltage, is going to like cook stuff. And so, yeah, you just got to watch out and be smart. And the other part of travel, once again, is if you only have an adapter, your phone is fine because now phones are built nowadays to handle all the way up to 230. So you don't need to worry about plugging those in. It's going to take whatever voltage it needs and be happy. Um,
well, large disclaimer, it's because phone chargers usually have built-in converters like
sure,
in the
sure.
charger. So, eh, you know, don't just assume it will be fine. Actually read it, especially if you have a phone manufactured outside the United States, because we have no idea what those standards are like. Um, But yeah, be aware that there are differences in the electrical systems. Know what your devices, appliances, whatever, know what they require. It should have it printed on or near the plug or the base of the cord. What type of voltage, what type of amperage, um, the form of current, whether alternating or direct. That should all be noted there. And as long as you know what that is and you have the appropriate transformers ready to go, or your devices are able to self transform, basically adapt to whatever is coming into them, then you'll be fine. Just be aware of it and make sure that you take care of it beforehand.
Yeah, don't plug in your curling iron or whatever it is and have it smoke, or Johnny's electric razor. So um
It was never, it had never run so fast ever in its life.
it was
And
so excited.
that's how it went out of this life.
Nice.
Just on the top. So
Well,
congratulations, Mr. Razor.
Yeah. So could we talk about security?
yeah. You
Since
mean
we've talked
security
about health and
specifically?
electricity and basically staying safe.
Okay, we're talking
Um,
about like Taken,
no, you. Okay,
okay.
so just before Carl inappropriately extrapolates into weird ideas, um, for our American audience, highly recommend that if you want to do some international travel, you go to state.gov, state.gov, that's the US State Department website. And they have travel advisories for every part of the world. They can kind of give you a general look at what safety conditions are like. Not only that, but you can also enroll in a program called STEP. And you just sign up, you put your email in there, and STEP, which stands for it's the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. But basically, they will send you updates and alerts based on the conditions of whatever country you're interested in going to. Um, Now, I'm an American. I use state.gov and I do use STEP. I imagine that many other countries in the world have similar government ministries with similar programs available. But regardless, I would highly recommend that before you go and while you're in the planning stages of an international trip, look at what the conditions are. Anyone can actually go to state.gov, wherever you are, and look at the map of basically security conditions across the world. Anyone can look at that. But your own country's um, foreign ministry or foreign office or state department or whatever equivalent you have uh, may may very well have travel advisory programs that you can enroll in as well. And I recommend that you look at that. Elevated threats of terror attack, natural disaster. It all those places will also come with a number of contacts, phone numbers and emails that you really should have loaded into your phone, where you can contact your embassy in whatever country you're going to in case something goes really wrong. Um, because things do go really wrong. One of the most common things that goes really wrong is you lose your passport or you have it stolen. And if you have contacts with your local embassy, you can reach out to them, and they're the entity that can help you, um, deal with that, help you be able to get back home, be able to be admitted back into your country. So, um, highly recommend you check in with your State Department or whatever equivalent office your country has. Know the embassy contact information. If they have a travel advisory or awareness program or emailing list, recommend you get in on that. It's good to be aware of these things. Um, just good to be ready for whatever might happen in the world. So that's all.
Yeah, that's great. And that's good advice and absolutely useful and necessary, especially when traveling to parts of the world that have we had more issues with crime and or that type of environment there that you might need to watch out for. But anywhere you go, like Matt said, you can get insight into what the your local government has, what their take is on the area. I think we got Tim join us. Hi, Tim.
Did we? And also, does that matter?
Oh, good point.
It's not important for travel. Tim's too cheap to travel.
Well, I was going to say I'm so cosmopolitan that all of my best tips for travel come from National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Excellent.
Uh,
If she enrolled in STEP.
The next one we're going to talk about is this combination of language and technology. Because in the last few years, since we last talked international travel, there have been a host of advances in the ability that you have to get live and useful translation, either on your phone, your AirPods.
You guys should all still try to learn foreign languages, by the way. But also, you don't have to anymore.
I'm a huge fan. I think it's absolutely useful and necessary, and I do think it's important to also recognize which countries and are the most monolingual, the ones that are going to be appreciated a lot more. For example, I speak Dutch to some relative fluency, and I went to the Netherlands, and it turns out, well, I already knew, but the Dutch speak English, and not just kind of. I mean, like really well, and often by default, they speak English. And so my Dutch came in useful, I think, twice in 3 days while I was there. Everyone else just English all the time. And so that was not as useful. However, a few years ago was in Mexico. I was trying to get a question answered. It turns out Spanish would have been really useful at the time. My Spanish is pretty limited.
Muy mal.
Muy mal.
So knowing which countries kind of have more monolinguistic populations, and so the I'm getting feedback from somebody. It's better now. Okay, the I think that the technology thing that I wanted to talk about, like I said, the AirPods. So if you have AirPods, they now it goes through your phone, of course, the AirPods themselves, but they facilitate live translation, interpretation, whatever. So you can literally just turn them on, have your phone up, Bluetooth, and you can be listening to a different language, and you'll be hearing English or whatever your native language is come into you via your AirPods. That's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty wild. I give that a pretty high rating on the fulfilling the promise of 1970s era sci-fi movies.
Right.
All the things that is predicted in these futuristic movies and books, and most of them, hovercrafts, floating cities, don't happen. But
Those
that's
are
one
still
thing.
classified. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
So you haven't been to the floating city, Tim?
He doesn't have
Dang
an
it.
invite. Floating City is like Gmail. You don't just sign up. Someone has to invite you.
Feeling very strong FOMO right now. Or FOMO, fear of missing out on floating city.
Okay.
Well, I think you're in the wrong state to look for a floating city.
You don't think Arizona can support floating cities?
I think Arizona is about to become the Sahara. So,
Yeah, there's that. We'll have to do a podcast on water rights next time.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Maybe not.
we've got
Please,
a
no.
good deal of the western basin covered. We got California. Carl, you can represent them.
We are
That's true.
at heavy risk of derailing again.
Okay, we're getting back on it. Though I think this is actually a useful time to celebrate our huge milestone. Before we finish off the podcast, talking about a few other travel-related things, the podcast is about, and I mean within a week or two, going to hit 1 million downloads.
What have they been doing with their time?
Well, they're
I mean,
stuck up in that floating city. There's nothing else to do.
I'm responsible for 999,000 of those.
I believe that.
again, most of that's my mom. Yeah, I mean, but
Each of them gets a mug. That's what I say.
yes, we'll have a podcast party. We will. Okay, no, we don't. We're hopefully it's been useful to some people, and it appears that it has to some extent. We'll be around for
We haven't been
while.
all misinformation. Like, there's been some good stuff here.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right, exactly.
But
Ooh,
That's
what if
that's
we did
it's
an
actually
episode?
our tagline.
What if we
yeah,
did
not
like
all misinformation.
not all misinformation? I think we should do a celebratory episode like best and worst moments of the Learn It from a Layman podcast.
That would be impossible to. Never mind.
We could do hosts instead, and you could just take the trophy for the worst. Be fine.
Oh,
Wait, you talking to me or Matt?
yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking to
I have
Tim,
no
of course. Matt, we can't throw Matt under the bus because his episodes have the most downloads.
That's probably true.
I thought
It's
Peter's
between
did.
Matt, I was gonna say it's
Old sport.
between Matt and Peter. So
Yeah, who showed up like once, and everyone's like, "Oh, quantum physics." Whatever.
yeah, that one still has the most.
Sorry, Dr. Vogel. I will have my revenge. No, I won't. Peter's great. But
He is.
Okay. All right. So that's the aside. So thank you, everyone. I mean, for I guess you should thank me. I mean, come on. I didn't even charge you any money. Okay. So next.
Oh, and
you also
just
don't pay
checking
your
out.
hosts.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
details. Okay. So I talked about technology and language. Another thing, and so if you don't have AirPods, which I don't.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to ask. AirPods are great and all for people that like AirPods, but are there other similar devices for people who aren't on the Apple ecosystem?
Yes, absolutely. Google Translate app does that and will write it out for you, so you can also look at it. And so that's really useful, actually.
Nice.
So I literally have a story. So I was recently traveling around Europe with my family, and I was buying some train tickets in Copenhagen. And there by myself. My family's at the hotel. I'm trying to figure out how to get to Sweden. And a lady comes up to me and just starts talking at a quick rate, and not English and not Danish. Not like it would have helped if it had been, but at least I would have recognized it. Certainly not Dutch. It sounded Russian. I didn't know immediately whether or not it was Russian, and she seemed a little panicked and quite nervous. And I'm saying no, sorry, English, but she must have been at her wit's end, just trying to figure stuff out. And so I said, hold on. I pulled out my phone. I opened Google Translate, and for the next 15 minutes, I'm helping this lady figure out where she needs to go, what the ticket she has, when her train is, where her train is. And I'm communicating with her via Google Translate. She's speaking in Russian and I'm speaking in English. And Google Translate is kicking us, the translation back and forth. So I do have experience using it. Is it perfect? No, but I hesitate to say it is not perfect, but neither is communicating with a human in a second language anyway. So it's really good and very useful, and so I do recommend that. So that is my anecdotal recommendation for using technology and language. But yeah, English is useful in a lot of Western European countries, and maybe less useful in some other Asian countries or other South American countries. So it is situational and kind of a country by country thing, whether or not that's necessary at all. As an English language speaker, you often just get around with English.
So if you're going to a place that doesn't have access to internet, can you like pre-download things onto these translating apps to make sure that you're able to use them if you don't get the right SIM card?
Interesting question. To download language packs. I don't know whether or not that would enable that live translation feature, though. That might need network connectivity. Um, that's a worthwhile thing to explore, Johnny. I don't know.
I will be exploring.
Yeah, so that moves on to just kind of this general technology part of traveling, and just being aware of like what is and isn't accepted and in different countries. So in some countries, everything has gone to, credit card, tap to pay, all, essentially cashless. Some countries, I believe, are cashless or are trying to move cashless. Um, and so going in there with a load of cash is not going to be helpful. Um, and just making sure that you have the app that you need, you have the card that you need, that you know what is going on with your card. If you're paying international conversions, from currency to currency, um, whether or not that your card is handling that at a good rate for you, or often the tap to pay offers you the option of, do you want to pay in your currency? For me, it's USD, or in the native currency. In Denmark, it was the krona, and depending on which one you pick, there's different conversions by the different services that are providing that. So um, that's useful to know. And then, like Johnny said, so essentially phone connectivity, making sure that whatever carrier you have when you go international, that you check out what their international rates are, what their plans are, whether or not you're going to be able to use your phone, and whether or not it's going to have what speeds it's going to have, what kind of data you're going to have access to. I can speak. I mean, I recently, like I said, I went to Suriname earlier this year, and then I went to Europe, and I have Mint Mobile, and the Mint International plan worked great both places. No problems, no issues, no confusion. Just it's not super expensive, and then you're good to go. The other plan, I mean, like my wife has a different plan. She didn't actually activate it, and then we got into a situation where she got trapped on. It's funny now. She got trapped on a tram. She this is very anecdotal, but when you go to Amsterdam, watch out, because apparently they like to shut their doors on their like transit systems like approximately 1 second after they open. So you got like half a second to get out the door, or they're done and they're moving on. And so my wife didn't get off, and they don't let you open the door again, and off it goes. And so he's anyway, he activated her phone plan for that reason, just by making a call. Luckily, he didn't have to do anything else, and we were able to communicate with her. Um, so, but we didn't actually look into that ahead of time, so we could have gotten a situation where she wasn't able to communicate with us. But yeah, that's something to
The
look
moral-
into and be aware of.
Yeah, the moral is to look into it ahead of time.
Yes, that is true. Yes. Prepare for those types, because even if you think like we did, well, your spouse is going to have theirs activated, whoever your travel companion is going to have their phone. Well, that's great, unless you're not with them, which, even if that's not the plan, might happen. So be aware of that, and plan ahead, and know what your backup plan is. Okay. Travel and transportation. I think this will be kind of my last thing. and that's in the United States, at least in the Western United States, and honestly, most of the United States, you need a car to travel. As big as Los Angeles is, and the fact that there is kind of a system, uh, I really don't recommend to people that visit Los Angeles to try to get around without a car, um, because the public transit system is just not great. Um, that's not the case in New York. I believe there's there are public transits in different United States cities that are relatively good. But then when you go to some place like Europe, you experience top quality public transit, at least availability and speed of use, and so that's something that you want to know ahead of time. Once again, if you go somewhere planning on using public transit or ride sharing or something like that, like an Uber, um, you know you've got to plan ahead and figure out what your budget is, and also whether or not that country has that available in it. um Johnny, I know you drove in Italy. Driving in Europe like frightens me. What was your experience?
Well, I got a speeding ticket and never paid it. So if I ever go back, I might get arrested.
Okay, all right.
No,
Johnny's on the
honestly,
lam.
it
By the
wasn't.
way, learn it from a layman does not condone confessing to crimes live on the podcast.
Yeah, that's a freebie. So, yeah, I mean, it was. I thought so. The signage is different, which can
Yeah,
make it a little bit more difficult to get around, but the GPS on my phone and all that still worked exactly the same. So was able to make it work. The roads are very narrow in Europe, so that's a little bit scary. And actually, the bigger problem that I had was this isn't international, but my wife and I went to Chicago, and we thought it was going to be cheaper to rent a car. And turns out parking is so expensive there that it would have been way cheaper to get an Uber. So just thinking about things like that, like parking the car, it just wasn't really something that was in our head. But
right.
it really became in our minds when we were paying $80 for, a day of parking.
Ouch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Parking something you often overlook, and then you regret it, and you're like, oh my word.
Learn it from a
Speaking of
layman does not condone parking or Chicago. I think I'm kidding.
This is a little bonus. As we were going to say, stop on transit, but there is one of the another hidden cost that I hadn't really considered. I don't know why, because I once again, European travel or any travel that is going to be long, longer than a few days. You you can't bring enough clothes such that have to you can't that you don't need to do laundry. Um, if you're renting an Airbnb or something like that that has washer dryer at on available to you, great. Then you wash your clothes. If you don't, obviously you need a laundromat. Um, some countries have laundromats in some areas, obviously very very accessible, very easy. Uh, some don't. Um, However, it is also expensive, especially if you're going with a family. It's I guess very expensive, needs to be taken, with a
It's a non-negligible cost.
exactly.
Factor
It's
it in.
I had thought somewhere like, oh, this will be $10 or $15 to do the laundry for my family. $80 later, it was
Wow.
that's not good.
Well, it's
So
because you get
um
that all-natural organic detergent made from like fresh yak spittle or whatever it is. I don't know. But no, it's I think I'm kidding again. Also, I do like Chicago. It's great. Please don't lynch me. But yeah, it's a non-negligible cost.
yeah,
Upkeep of
right.
your person and belongings and things and stuff. It's a thing.
Right.
So
Right.
know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think we
Um,
all do a good job of like, hey, we're going to set aside a bunch of money for food. And then that's usually where my planning stops. So,
Yep. Well, and to be fair, day to day, that's where you're planning. That's all it needs to go.
If
Am
you're
I
gonna
going
drop
to
the
eat
ball on
today?
something, yeah, I'd drop it on clean clothes rather than food.
It's an interesting debate.
that's just wrong. Sorry.
Hey, you can smell good, but I'm not gonna be hungry.
You can-
Oh, I thought you were saying it the other way around.
The other
Okay,
way
I
around.
agree
Yeah,
with
that's
you
what I
there.
got too. Yeah.
I probably did say it wrong then. Oh well. Anyways, yay food. Food first.
Food first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
learn
who
it
cares
from a
if you're running
layman. Does
around?
not condone skipping food for the sake of showering or washing your clothes. What do we condone? All we do is not condone things.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what good
do,
people do.
do we actually stand for anything, Carl?
I
we
think
stand
we
against a lot of
condone
things, though. Yeah,
I think we condone the podcast
but
sometimes.
Matt doesn't.
Sometimes.
Matt,
No,
Matt,
I don't.
well, actually, you and Matt, Johnny,
Questionable.
both of you don't condone this podcast.
People at my work have been asking me about it and where to find it, and I refuse to tell them.
That's happened
Matt,
to me too. Oops.
Matt, having been on the podcast now for however many years, has yet to listen to an episode or allow anyone else to.
I've listened to a number of episodes, which is why I'm so sad about some of the audio quality issues that I had with my mic cutting out at times. So I
Well,
apologize. For anyone who is actually interested in the history of aviation, maybe we'll re-record it. I'm sorry.
as soon as people start donating large sums of money, these podcast, audio quality will.
Well, when they
get
start doing
significantly.
that, I'm hoping that the first thing that you do with those large sums of money is, pay the contributors a little bit. But
Well, probably
I
not.
think that's
But
probably wishful thinking.
it's very wishful.
Sigh.
Okay, all right.
Well, the
We're
audience,
gonna wrap
that's what
up.
it pays for.
We're gonna give. I'm gonna hit a rapid fire, like 2 or 3 things here, and then anyone else that wants to jump in with the last. Bathrooms are not always free. In the United States, you can almost assume that there's a public bathroom somewhere within like 100 yards of you, and it's free. That is not true in large swaths of Europe. And then in certain Asian countries, you might not want to use a public bathroom for a variety of reasons. So,
Leave that
bathrooms, watch out for
nebulous
it.
and
Cryptic.
vaguely, yeah,
Just do your research
drops a
and
bomb
stuff.
insulting Asian bathrooms, refuses to elaborate further, closes the podcast. Carl.
It doesn't have
Yes,
anything to do with
exactly.
yellow fever or Japanese encephalitis, does it?
Oh,
Goodness.
Okay, all right, next. Medications. Don't
Jesus,
forget your
sorry.
medications when you're traveling. Make sure that you have those available to you. If you're going to check luggage, probably don't put your medication in there, because if your bag gets lost and your medications are, necessary, you need to have those. So keep
It's
track of those.
absolutely critical. Always pack your medications in your carry-on. Keep them with you. Do not risk losing them, especially if you are if you have critical health dependencies on those medications.
Yeah. So
So I
absolutely a
will,
necessity.
if you screw this one up, one, I will feel very bad for you, but two, I will find you and angrily remind you that I told you so. Grr.
Perfect. Okay, and then the last one is jet lag. Jet lag
That's
is
a myth.
it's
Fake
a
news.
myth.
Fake news.
Have
It's
you
an
ever known anyone that's had
inevitability.
jet lag? Have you ever
I
known
had
anyone
jet
who's
lag.
died
I've
of
had
jet
jet
lag?
lag. It's
Yeah,
real.
right. Well, you guys
Okay,
are
so 50% of the weak people on this podcast.
yeah. Jeez, and this is the doctor coming out and saying it. So
That's right. It's medically vetted information.
Jet lag is real, and if you're traveling with kids, it almost borders on child abuse. To do
Hey,
what
I'm
I
a
did to my
mandated
kids.
reporter. Watch your next words carefully.
Spicy hot take
I
here.
said borders. uh, yeah,
We're just going all
to
over the place all of a sudden.
Okay, jet lag is something not to be taken lightly. Delirium sets in very quickly when you are trying to operate on 1 hour of sleep in the last 36 hours.
Are you sure you're not just predisposed to various neuroses?
Well, I mean, that is a separate question. That does not prove or disprove jet lag.
And there's there's east going jet lag and west going jet lag. So
Is this like a Dr.
Oh
Seuss
my
book?
gosh. Yeah.
that's
Hey,
right.
what
And
shape is the Earth while we're at it with the conspiracies?
it's a cube, okay?
This
Wanted
segment has
something
been
different.
brought to you by Department of Child Safety.
No, it hasn't. Thank goodness.
But no, so when you travel east and go far, you're going to be very tired. Well, I mean, you're going to be tired regardless, but you're going to need to be like it's like 5 p.m. and you're just
So what you're
falling
saying is
over.
you'll be equally tired east or west. Got it.
Well, when you travel west, you wake up early. So it's the weirdest thing. You like wake up at 4 a.m. and you're like you just can't go back to sleep. You're like, so yeah, you get up, you're like, what am I going to do? Because it's 4 a.m. and I can't sleep. And so you just sit and read books or something. Anyways, that's my experience.
You need to be a stronger sleeper.
Stronger
Or
sleep.
a stronger person.
I practice every day. Stronger person.
I don't know. What other mythical ailments are there that people won't complain about?
The flu.
Oh,
Balding.
almost risking going into some unfortunate territory there with some of the
Unfortunate, that's right.
deniers out there.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I better be careful. Some people might take that seriously.
Malaria
Malaria is not real.
probably real. It's probably real.
Real.
Got it.
Oh, hey, have you talked about that? Like, about kind of like, if you travel to a tropical country, you might need to, take like a malarial.
Yeah, for those of
What's
us
it
who were on
called?
from the beginning of the podcast, that was literally the first thing that we addressed.
Nabbit. All right.
Indeed.
Well, I'm just reminding people then. Yes, don't you remember when we talked about this? Because I do, of course.
Anyway, I feel like Carl had actual points about jet lag that are going to be lost to time unless
It's somehow
they may
appropriate.
be lost to time.
Just essentially scheduling around jet lag was my main point. That like you just steamroll jet lag as if it weren't a thing. You will pay for it in happiness and joy.
So what's that
Are you
mean? You
saying
leave
that
a cushion after you arrive, like say, okay, I'm not going to plan anything for that first.
I'd say
12
like
hours.
more schedule like a nap. Be like, look, between the hours of 1 and 3, we will nap, and then we will get back to it or something. So.
I love how you said we will nap so forcefully and firmly, like a general, and
Anyway.
then we will nap.
The other thing that you can do is schedule some of that while you're en route. If you can discipline yourself to actually sleep on the plane or not sleep on the plane at the appropriate times, that can help kind of prime your body to adjust. It probably will not be enough by itself, but it can help you get at least kind of a head start.
Yeah, I can vouch for that too. I've actually done that, and it's very nice if you can do it. And then I recommended to my cousins to do it, and they weren't able to, and they were miserable.
There is some evidence I don't know if this translates over to travel, but I would assume it does. For people that work like differing shifts when they are like awake during the day for a while, but then they'll work like a few nights. Low dose melatonin can help adjust your circadian rhythm. So you just take it like 30 minutes before you go to sleep. So usually low dose, meaning like 1 to 2 milligrams. Don't like blast yourself with 20. You'll lose your entire circadian rhythm and feel like crap for a really long time. So just low dose melatonin 30 minutes before you're supposed to sleep. And hopefully that can help you stay asleep during those times that Tim's awake reading his book.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was a good book.
Okay. All right. And that will be how we sign off, is with melatonin. So
Seems
so
fitting.
I
Yeah.
think so.
If you're not
Oh,
tired
that's-
enough by the end of listening to this, you can take some melatonin. You're welcome.
Now this is essentially the melatonin through audio, the audio version.
Audio melatonin.
It's called ASMR, and unfortunately, we have never been close to that level of useful. I'm sorry, that's terrible. I don't know.
Okay. All right. All right.
I think we
Perfect.
all
Okay.
agree with you, unfortunately.
Eh.
Yes. Okay, we're signing off before we actually cancel our own podcast. So we will be back. We'll have, I think I actually have a couple interesting podcasts that I'm scheduling soon. We're talking to a chicken farmer, kind of, and a RV salesman. So stay tuned.